Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all. Oh, I forgot about Mike is here. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all. Unfortunately, it is dark, but still I can manage to see your beautiful faces. And I would like to say hello to our live stream guests across the world um, who seeing us live and linking, especially those our colleagues in Afghanistan. سلام خیلی خوش آمدین عزیزایم انشالله کمتون خوب جورسندمند باشین و یک سلام خاص به تماشاچیای ما از افغانستان یا از دور دنیا داریم. And I would like to extend a specially welcome to our Deputy May and you all honorable guests. Oh, I can say amazing people. And my name is Rona Panshiri. I'm a part of this wonderful exhibition. And to be honest with you all, I feel excited and emotional. So please bear me if I do lots of max in my speaking, because I really feel honored to be here and speak and share my opinion with you all. Today we come together to celebrate the strength and resilience of Afghan women in Afghanistan and girls. And with this amazing exhibition, Window to the Soul, we would like to show you, and our aim is to elevate the story of women and girls in Afghanistan and using immersive technology. For decades, Afghan women have been at the forefront of fight for their rights, seeking education, freedom, and quality in society marked by conflict and repression. They have shown incredible bravery, often risking their lives for the simple rights, which is education and rights to have a work and participate in their communities. In the past, we witnessed the remarkable progress made by Afghan women. They broke barriers in education, politics, and various professions. Women in Afghanistan become teachers, doctors, and more, and they have different professions, include leaders and fighting, not for only for their own rights, but for the rights of future generations. We saw young girls walking to school filled with hope and ambitions, dreaming of bright future. However, the recent political change in Afghanistan have posed severe I'm sorry for my pronunciation. It's really hard to say what happens in Afghanistan. I'm sure you all know that, but this regime in Afghanistan have posted severe threats to these hard-won gains. Many women now face restriction in their rights to work, to study, and to live freely. Even they have been banned to go outside at the public and talk with each other. And they gave them dress code to cover it from head to toe, which is not Islamic dress code or anything. They just, it's more than restriction. It's just controlling of one gender in there. The heartbreaking reality is that they banned girls to go to school, and they're unable to pursue their dreams. Yet, even in the face of this challenge, Afghan women continue to demonstrate a remarkable resilience. They have organized protests, create network of support, and use their voices to advocate to change. Today we must stand in solidarity with these women. We must, thank you. Thank you. We must amplify their voices and share their stories like we do with this VR exhibition. Each one of us has the role to play, whether through awareness advocacy or supporting for organization to uplift Afghan women in Afghanistan and also around the world. There's lots of Afghan women doesn't have the same opportunity to go study, and they need support for where they live. And we need to ensure that their struggles are not forgotten and their rights are not sidelined. So I believe together we can create a world where everyone, every person can, every person, regardless of their gender, identity, or religions, of their circumstance, has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you. And now I would like to invite you to listen to the most beautiful voices and powerful song from one of our best and famous singer, Caswell. But before we listen to Caswell, because she always made me cry when I hear her songs, I want to thank you all for your precious time, and I would like to thank you, our teammates and their hard works, and I would like to thank you all Afghan women who stand and still struggle but not lose hopes. As a member of Almas Group, or founder of Almas Group, which is a community group for Afghan women in Ipswich, I would like to thank you, member of Almas Group, who participate in this exhibition, which is our wonderful Ustad Shafiqa Jan, who was here with the light. She was university teacher in Afghanistan, and she teaches student at the technique, if I'm not wrong, at the Polytechnic University, and she's really feeling bad for losing her job and their students. And we have also Sagar Ayan, who was working with BBC in Afghanistan, and she's new mom here. And I have also Sada, who was a student in Afghanistan and working, now she's full-time mom and looking forward to join the university and have interested for arts. And our youngest member, who was here, Nigina, she's a student of New Suffolk College. I'm really proud of you all. And I have only a few more words in Dari language because we have lots of colleagues, and hopefully lots of people, especially women, can see we are here. Doesn't matter we're a small group or big, but we are here for them. And we can hear them and we can support to amplify their voices. So تشکر میکنم از تک تک خوارای عزیز و قهرمانمون در افغانستان که اونا در مقابل تاریکی جل استادگی کردن و میکنن. انشالله این روزای تاریک نمیمانه و چون فردا بخیر رمضان است، براتون رمضان خوش و خوب و پرصفا میخوایم ما از دعای خود دور نداشته باشین. And thank you everyone. Now the floor is for Caswell. Thank you. Thank you.
Blame language a martyrdom. We are the sum of our hand. We can write other road. Damned if we don't, and damned if we do. Denounce our right to choose. Draw down the moon for the accused. You had better make your case. Damned if we go and damned if we stay. So I'm thrown either way, I'll drown. Didn't you know? You can't take the voices of God. We can see the torches burning, but you can't hold women in your control. Didn't you know the choices are wrong? We grieve for future days, held in a red embrace. Story older than time. Damned if you're born behind a state line. A bitter irony. Two lives, one worth more than a living. Wonder if our sons might see daughters burn and sisters bleed. So I'm thrown either way, I'll drown. Didn't you know? You can't take the voices of God. We can see the torches burning, but you can't hold women in your control. Didn't you know the choices are wrong?
Okay guys, so this is the audience participation section, and the line is, you can't take the voices of girls. Okay, so we're going to sing it together, we're going to run it on a loop, you can speak it, you can sing it loud. Let's do this.
You can take the voices of girls. 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 You
Bibi Jan. This is a sandali. In the wintertime in Afghanistan, a lot of families might not have electricity, but what they would do on most evenings is they would light a fire underneath the table. They would gather round under the blankets and tell stories. So that's what we're going to do. Help yourself to tea, walnuts, dried fruit, and join us. Today, I'm going to tell you a love story. Not a conventional love story, not romance, roses, marriages. They're all always about marriages, aren't they? This love story is a true story about a girl that I got in contact with in Afghanistan called Noor. Now, I was given her details from a relative in Ipswich, and this was the beginning of a friendship that had a ripple effect, not just on one community, not just on one nation, but I believe that this friendship, that this love, will have a ripple effect on the world. So let me tell you about her. When I first met her, and I say met her, I mean WhatsApped her, get with the times. Yes, people have mobile phones in Afghanistan. They can't always charge them because the electricity goes out quite a lot, but they do have smartphones. So when I first met Noor, she was very, very, very discouraged. She had just graduated from university with her economics degree. She came from a very good family. Her father was a surgeon. Her sisters were dentists and doctors. And she was just ready to launch her career when, as you can imagine, all the universities closed. Women were told that they could no longer study from the age of 12, and her world fell apart. So what I saw back then was a small, tiny, beautiful, flickering flame of hope. And as I spoke to her, we were able to share something: authenticity. We were worlds apart. I mean worlds apart, but we have the same human heart. I may not know what it is like to live in a war-torn country. I may not have experienced power outages or food scarcity, but I know what it's like to be lonely. So we connected on this very human level. Initially, we were introduced just out of kind of curiosity. I'd worked with refugees in Ipswich. I was passionate about bringing positive change, but this was different. You know when you just sat in the living room and then thing goes on your phone and you're like, oh, who is it? I used to get so excited. This friendship was purely platonic, but never ever underestimate the love that you can have for a friend. So when this began, we would talk about all sorts of stuff. Obviously, we come from different religious backgrounds, but we started to have these conversations where it wasn't the polarization of I'm right, you're wrong. And I've got to be honest with you, I have been caught up in that in the past. You know, the polarization with Facebook and the left and the right and the wrong, and it's like we're taught to hate each other. I've never hated Muslims, ever. And the connection that we had allowed us to respectfully, sincerely listen to understand, not listen to respond, not listen to defend, not listen to win an argument. Two people, worlds apart. Two women, worlds apart. Faiths apart. And yet, this connection, this love, has transformed my life. And I hope that it has transformed hers too. I watched her as she began to grow, like the little buds starting to sprout when winter has gone and spring arrives. As she started to call up an army of girls around her. We think of women as feminine, maybe even fragile. But I think of that phrase that Frida Kahlo said. I am not fragile like a flower. I am fragile like a bomb. And that's what I saw in Noor. She was initially this tiny flickering light in the darkness. And now I see an inferno. If you could see the ripple effects of this girl, this one girl, and all that she is achieving already, it gives me hope. It gives me hope for myself, for Afghanistan, for our world. Now, Rona and I, we were invited to the United Nations UK Summit in London last year. And we had a fantastic time. But I'd always seen that as being high up, rich, hoity-toity people who have come from a background of Eton and high education. And I never saw that as a place for me. But we applied and we were accepted. And suddenly, our voices were in a position of influence. And that was important. But what would we do with that position of influence? Noor was key to educating us. The news tells us so many things, some true, some untrue, some heightening racism, some baiting us against each other. But we spent time getting to know the truth of their experience. And this girl, I wonder if any of you have heard of the poet Rumi. Now, anybody from Afghanistan will make a big point about the fact that he was originally from Afghanistan and not Iran, which I will leave for you to debate. But either way, I believe that he is a man of great wisdom and insight. I read a story once by one of my favorite authors, and it was all about his interactions with a friend called Shams. I can never pronounce it. Oh, Tabrizi, you can tell me the correct pronunciation later. And Rumi used to write poetry about his friendship with this man, which people found very strange. Even now, people would be like, why? You know, that's just, it's not culturally normal. It wasn't back then anyway. But I resonate with Rumi. This is a love story of platonic love that has changed my life. This girl, this light. So I asked her if she would mind speaking to some of her friends and collecting some more stories. And let me tell you about the other stories. So, one of the girls, who is also a member of our team, is called Shapak. That's her pseudonym because you need to protect her identity. But Shapak identifies as a blue butterfly. And this is how I see her. She began doing coloring, drawing, sketching, and Noor showed me some of her work. I began to connect with her too, and she found a weapon in her hand. Our weapons of warfare are not weapons of warfare as you would think. She picked up a pencil. She started drawing. Her creative expression was an act of defiance. And then she picked up a camera. She began photographing things in her world. She began defying the Taliban, and would you believe it, she dared to photograph a living creature, which is forbidden. So there is this beautiful picture, which you can see in our exhibition, of a young girl holding a ladybird. This is a punishable act in Afghanistan. Can you believe that? She has captured such beauty. Beauty and insight in a world where she is risking her life to share these images with us. And I do not take that lightly. So please look at Chopak's amazing work in the gallery upstairs later. Let me tell you another story. Another girl that I was introduced to. She is not like the other girls. I have a slight suspicion that she might be neurodivergent, but obviously we don't know for sure, but all the best people are, in my opinion. She is strong-willed. She is resolute. If I could describe her as one thing, I would say she is a warrior among women. She is intelligent. And when she was at school, her teacher used to call her professor because they thought she knew everything. She is a fantastic artist, a fantastic leader. And she has done a lot of incredible work, which is also shown upstairs. Her name is Baran, which means rain. Rain brings richness and growth to the earth. She brings richness and growth to her country. And then we met another girl, and the weapon of warfare in her hands was a paintbrush. Now, it is illegal, forbidden, haram, in Afghanistan to do portraits, to replicate any living thing. So to paint a picture is risking her life. And yet, she still does it. She takes this risk, she defies the odds, and she produces something beautiful. You will see her artwork upstairs in our gallery. Now, there is one more person that I would like to tell you a short story about. And she is with us now, actually, Shafika, this wonderful lady at the back here. Now, Shafika was a professor, a teacher. She is extremely intelligent, and she has blessed the world with her gifts. But you know, the greatest gift that she has ever given me was this Valentine's Day. And I'm sure that I've caused lots of rumors with my talks about Shams and Rumi and my love. But this Valentine's Day, she gave me this ring. She put it on my finger, on my wedding finger, actually. And she said, "I love you." And I cannot tell you what that meant to me. Because Shafika and I, we haven't known each other that long. I mean, she's worked on the project, she's come to Almas. But our greatest weapon is love. So now, we will leave the Sandali scene. Our Noor will remain, and you will listen to her authentic voice. So listen to the voice of the girl in Afghanistan. Thank you.
It is hard to live as a woman in a country where women are abused physically, mentally, and emotionally. Every moment that passes, a part of your body, soul, or emotion decreases. In other words, it's not you, it's you who gets analyzed. You will be humiliated, crushed, and broken with every deprivation and limitation. It is no longer just family violence, honor killings, forced marriages, withholding inheritance right. 2 years ago, education ban, work ban, travel ban, mandatory hijab, and many other bans have been added to them. It seems that the only thing that grows in this country is the right of damages and injustices against the women of this land. It is difficult to be a woman in a country where women and girls are considered second class citizens. Home becomes the safest place for girls. Going out of the house becomes a shame for the family. Education of girls becomes the cause of deviance, indecency, and prostitution in the society. If a group of women and men are to be educated in the society, women should give up their right without a second thought. As always, they should be sacrificed. It is hard to be a woman in a place where it is believed that women's education does not lead to growth, but to distraction and corruption. Most importantly, women's irreligiousness. The right that makes a person a better person in all parts of the world become a factor of deviation here. Sometimes these beliefs go further. The education of women not only corrupts them but also the men of the society, and this is exactly where the right to education should be taken away from them. How can we expect women to be given the right to education in such a place? It is hard to live among people who believe in a just God but not in justice, believe in a universal God but not in science, believe in a God whose name is right but not in the right of people. Little by little, you doubt your own beliefs and opinions. Life becomes so difficult for you that you are ready to take away your ideas and beliefs. It is hard to be a woman in a place where people are surprisingly indifferent to violence against women, the issue of women, their rights, and deprivations is not a serious concern for anyone. If there is, it is only to the extent of speaking. No woman has the right to waste in such a place. Every woman should live in a country that promotes justice, a country where women are given the right to use their abilities and opportunities, where women can step beyond being alive, they can live.
I need to tell you that the person that Noor is today is nothing like the tiny flickering flame. She is strong. She is a leader. She is working to help women in a medical setting now. And honestly, we just need to invest in people. She invested in me and I have grown. I am not the same person that I was when I met her. But as women, sometimes we compete against each other. Sometimes we backbite, and there is no need. We are not competition. We need to stand in solidarity. We need to stand side by side. And I'd like to invite Sagat to come to the stage. She's here. You can see her. Is she here? She might have gone outside. Sadaf, would you mind going and getting her? She gone outside? Okay, Rona's gonna go get her, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem. That's fine. Okay, so I know you've all come here to hear about some technology stuff, haven't you? But I couldn't bring you just technology without the investment and the story and the inspiration behind it. So I would you like to come up? Use this microphone. Okay.
سلام سلام همگی رو خوش آمدید میگم and hello you are welcome I have a little story my life but is for I tell for 5 minutes but is for me is for like 5 years when I was in Afghanistan Taliban came in Afghanistan, and I work with BBC, and on Saturday, Taliban came in Kabul, and Taliban. Everybody is worried about, especially women, about the Taliban for future, and yeah. Oh, sorry.
You're doing great. You carry on, you're doing great.
Again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just speak to you about Sagar, if that's okay. You stay here. This is
Because
cool.
I
Crying is good. Crying is healing, isn't it? I think this is what we want you to know, that this is not just some campaign or some art thing or some let's test out some AI and do some deep fakes. This is how can we use technology to tell stories in a way that protect identities, that elevate voices, that relay emotions. These are real people, real voices. Okay. No problem. That's fine. You can go down. That's fine. But yeah, but Surah and Sadaf as well have spent time with us upstairs in the green room, and we were testing out various different techniques, including like face mapping and motion capture. So they've been an integral part of the development of the VR, which we will see shortly. So I think we should have some slides. I've got to do the tech bit. Look at that gorgeous picture. Okay, I'm going to do the next slide quite often, I think. So here we go. I'm not going to read it out to you, but obviously we're funded by Arts Council England, but ultimately we have a mission, and our mission is to utilize current innovative tech to create change in our world, to engage people to feel more empathetic and more moved to social action. Okay, next. Oh, yes. We obviously have been able to elevate the voices of Afghan women. No, it's fine. Oh. And the role of mother, I also want to highlight this. There is one story of a woman who was not educated, who raised a large family. And she was hearing all of these stories about, these doctors and all of these wonderful things that people had achieved. But I said to her daughter, I said, your mother has imparted the greatest gift that has allowed you all to grow. She invested time and she planted kindness and integrity in the seeds of this family. And the legacy of that, yes, they have gone on to become doctors and dentists and all sorts, but we must never underestimate the investment of a mother, or the role of the mother, and fathers too. I'm not saying that that's not important too. But I think sometimes, no matter what your educational background is, no matter where you've come from, what your experience is, everybody has something to bring to this world that is important and that has a real legacy. Okay, next slide. So as you can see, Sadaf is here and James in the background. And we've been testing out these VR headsets. When we go upstairs, you will have the chance to try these on. And basically, you can see we have the sandally here. We have a small scenario where you can put the headset on, and it's as if you are sat around a sandally with a family. There are various characters that you can speak to. I know you met Nigina, who was playing Noor earlier. She is the voice of the character Fatima. Shafika is the voice of the character Sherango. So everybody has got involved in this. And the stories, although they are fictional, they have been based on research with the people that we are in contact with in Afghanistan and the local community. So we also have the 360 virtual gallery. Now, I spoke to you about some of the stories of the girls. Now, you can see their actual artwork upstairs and also on our website. We've created a virtual gallery. So if you're on a computer or a phone, you can do this too. And it's as if you were in a large-scale professional gallery. But people all over the world can access this. And right now, I'd also like to welcome our live stream audience. We have people from Afghanistan, from Canada, from America, from all over the world watching this right now. So thank you. Now, look at that beautiful photograph. So here we have Brad and James. Now, they were well, everybody is an important member of our team, but they were key on the development of the technology side of things. So James was working on voice modeling, which was mixing AI-generated voice models with real recordings of the people that we have just spoken about, so that we could allow the women in Afghanistan to share their stories, but protect their identity and their voice. This is the character Sherango here. We used AI-generated models to create the characters, and it's set in a rural village. So obviously, it's not reflective of every family in Afghanistan, but it gives you a snapshot. And we want people to step into their world and to be able to engage. Now, I have to tell you, this is a research and development project, so we were testing out ideas. It is by no means finished or polished or the ultimate product. And we were able to evaluate actually what is necessary for telling an authentic story with emotive content. And I will be honest with you, at the moment, we've created something wonderful, but we want to create something even better. So at the moment, the characters are quite flat. The movement of their face is quite basic, and the tone of their voice is quite monotone. So we're still excited about what we've created, but it highlights the fact that actually real actors, real people, real hearts, real voices with expression is needed to convey emotional content. So while I am obviously experimenting with these new things, I am an advocate for the rights of artists, the rights of any creative industry person. And we do need to find a way that is fair for all. It can be a great blessing, though. So I'm authentically presenting you with what we've got so far. Now, we have also applied for further investment from Unlimited. We don't know if we've got it yet. But if we do, we will be appearing at the Norfolk and Norwich Festival next year. We want to look at making this more emotionally engaging by employing artists, actors, doing face mapping to combine what we need to convey human emotions in a powerful way. Next slide, please. And this is your sneak peek video. So I'm going to shoot off stage and you can watch this.
Plain language, mother tongue. We are the sum of our.
My degree in economics sits in a drawer, a symbol of what could have been. Instead, I sew clothes and teach a handful of girls at home. It's work that matters, but it's not the work I dreamed of. I wanted to contribute more, to be out in the world, using my economics degree to make a difference, to help Afghanistan and its people to find economic prosperity and happiness. This was and still is my dream.
Salam alaikum. I'm Fatima, I'm 14, and I used to be a student. I loved going to school, especially learning science with my friends, but now everything is different. Today, I'm only able to speak with you because my father has given me permission, and he's asked that my brother Hamid sit in the back of the room. I'm here to share my story about my life, my family, and the future I hope for, even if it feels uncertain.
Home has always been the center of my life. It is where I find my purpose, where I return after every hard day's work, and where I see the faces of the people who give my life meaning. I was born in this village, in a house not unlike the one I live in now. My mother, Sharon Gul, held our home together with strength and resilience.
When I was a young bride, I learned quickly how much the home depended on the women within it. My husband worked in the fields, and the house was mine to manage. I cooked on a fire that had to be carefully tended, carried water from the well, and raised my children with the hope they would have better lives than I did. It wasn't easy, but it was what we knew. The home was a world of its own, a place that required constant care. Now I am too old to do much. My back aches, my hands tremble, but I sit and watch as my daughter-in-law, Leila and Fatima, carry the weight I once did. They clean, cook, and manage the house, just as I did, but with fewer opportunities beyond these walls. Leila also teaches Fatima and a few girls in the village when she can. It makes me proud to see her trying to bring something new to the home, even as life becomes harder for women here. I tell my granddaughters that the home is important. It is where we find strength as a family, but it should not be a cage.
If we could go to a blank screen, that would be great. Sorry. Nagina? Do we have Nagina? She's disappeared. Here she is. Nagina has kindly offered to do a poem I get you on the microphone. And this is almost the end, almost, but then you get to go and play with the cool VR exhibition stuff. So, can we hear okay? Do testing. Doesn't need turning on. Oh, yeah, just okay.
Hello everyone. I have one poem in Farsi. Sorry about that. I didn't have a time to translate it. طالب بی خرد دشمن علم و هنر در بین انسان طالب است. دشمن علم و هنر در بین انسان طالب است. در گلوی خواهران زنجیر زندان طالب است. طالب ای شرم خرد در عالم و عارفان خدا. طالب ای شرم خرد در عالم و عرفان خدا. جهل و نادانی خالف علم و عرفان طالب است. روبنمان دین و اسلام ظلم بی‌حد کرده اند. روبنمان دین و اسلام ظلم بی‌حد کرده اند. در تظاهر مسلم و بدتر ز شیطان طالب است. داد فرمان آن خداوند عظیم و اقرا بخوان. داد فرمان آن خداوند عظیم و اقرا بخوان. برخلاف امر یا رب گشتانده نادان طالب است. Thank you very much.
Invite anybody who has been involved in this project to come onto the stage, please. And I know there's quite a few of you. Anyone that's, and I think most people have got t-shirts on. Come join us, come join us. And we've got younger members too. These have been integral, like, how old is he? He's like 9 months, I don't know. 10 months. He has been part of the green screen crew, okay? So fantastic, fantastic. I would just like to say, especially to our audience in Afghanistan, our team is much bigger than this. There are many people that we wish Noor could be here, especially. She's been our cultural consultant. I just want to thank everybody that has been involved. I would love to thank you, Arts Council England, for the money, because we definitely needed it. And we are really interested in taking this further. Many members of our team have ideas that they would like to bring forward. And this is just the beginning. So, thank you. Would the Deputy Mayors like to come up for a photograph opportunity? So, and look, we've had esteemed guests come to attend as well. So thank you, it's such an honor. And Caswell has allowed us to use that track in the VR, completely like royalty free. She's come and performed today, completely unpaid. So we just want you to imagine Noor standing here with her tiny flickering flame, but each one of us stands here with a flame beside you. We are with you, and we encourage you as an audience to join us in this. If you want to get involved, please come and speak to us. And obviously, we will show you the exhibition too. Okay? Round of applause, and thanks to Tech as well. Fantastic. Feel free to take photographs now. I feel like this would be a great picture moment. Yay! Where's James? James isn't here either, is he? Thank you. That's wonderful. I had got a load of tech stuff to show you, but I feel like the heart is so much more important in our project. And the legacy of it is investing in people to bring about real change. So, thank you, and come see us upstairs.
We get right down the road. Damned if we don't, and damned if we do. Denounce our right to choose. Draw down the moon for the accused.